Hello, you're watching Hexas TV. I'm here at Misco Expo and I'm talking to Jesse Westgate, who is a Business Development Manager at Misco. Hi, Jesse.
Hi.
Now, I understand one of the areas of concern for you is the education sector. So I just wanted to know a little bit more about why a sort of technology provider like Misco needs to have an education specialist.
I think in simple terms is that the education sector is probably our largest single vertical.
Right.
We sell, for want of a better term, a lot of kit.
Yep.
There's a lot of turnover going into that sector. What's important is that we're trying to identify how to provide more value to the technology that's been used in educational organisations.
Right. And this is more than just, like, let's say that the back end, just normal type of office setups.
Yeah, schools are pretty commercially savvy these days, and they know a lot of what they want. There's a lot out there that probably don't, but it's trying to bridge that gap between what they require from an educational point of view and how to use the new technology that's coming on board.
Okay, and can you give me any examples of sort of conversations you've had recently where you've tried to sort of reconcile the needs of an education establishment with what you can provide?
Well, it's $1 million question because
happens all the time, I guess.
Yeah, there's. I think schools being particularly working with young students that are very creative and innovative, they don't have any boundaries in regards to what can be achieved.
Yeah.
Organisations, schools in particular, will obviously be limited by what they're trying to deliver on the curriculum to some level.
Yep.
And obviously I don't want to get into dangerous territory regarding educationalist issues, but from a technology perspective, technology can probably deliver quite a lot, but it probably can't deliver what sometimes they do need.
I see.
I think some examples of that, as we've seen over the last few years, about how 3D projectors are being used for educational purposes. There's not enough content out there and the cost is very prohibitive.
Right.
But some of the things that you can do in regards to, I think we've all probably seen 3D cinema is big this summer.
Right.
But when you're in a 3D studio and you can put a glove and you can touch and manipulate things that you're seeing, obviously they can immediately feel that there's a massive educational benefit. But like I say, the costs are pretty prohibitive and the content that's there doesn't really allow them to explore too far in educational terms.
So they need good sort of balanced advice from you as to whether or not this thing is going to actually deliver what they're hoping.
Yeah, I think that the case is trying to meet some of the expectations within a budget, and that is always going to be a challenge.
Yeah, and so there must be, education in this country is still predominantly state-run, but there must be some sort of fairly decent budgets out there for it to be such a big business for you guys.
Well, there's a couple of things that are going on in the country at the moment. There's the Building Schools for the Future programme, which is a £45 billion investment over the next 15 years. In fact, it started in 2004. I think it's about £4.5 billion being spent on IT alone.
Wow. The
project has slipped by probably a couple of years. However, there are some other things that are being addressed. It's okay having £1 million going into a school for IT, because that's typically what they get, 1.3 million pounds. It's what do they do with all of this technology? How do you out and buy that? My concern, more than anything from a technology perspective, how sustainable is it? Because in 3 years or 5 years, when that becomes the end of its life, where's the money going to come from to sustain the projects that they're installing now?
Yep.
So that's at quite a basic level, believe it or not. But and on another basic level, the government have invested heavily in a trial that came to an end for something called Back to Home Access, which was trying to get, I think it was a £13 million plus programme to originally to go for about 20,000 students. I think there was 7,000 plus grants sent out, which allowed computers to be used at home.
Right.
That sort of ties in. And
this was for lower income families, was that the one?
Yeah, that's right. And they're now going for the full rollout now, which Misco are one of the providers.
Okay. And it strikes me also that if we accept one of the primary purposes of school to prepare you for the workplace, if you're coming out of school and you're not pretty tech savvy, that's going to rule you out of a hell of a lot of sort of future jobs. Is that how you see it?
I tell you, the biggest problem is that some of these schools that are being built and the technology they have access to, they're going to be mightily disappointed when they go for their jobs and see what the company.
And it falls far short of what they used to.
Yeah, they're going to be very disappointed, I think. If they stay in education and go to universities, a lot of IT being used, but a lot of organisations don't have the technology that some of these children have access to in schools these days.
But then they could probably still use that as a sort of, well, here I am, I am more tech savvy than the organisation is, maybe I can help you sort of progress.
Yeah, I think that the life skills that they're learning around technology is preparing this for the future, more so than ever. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, that's brilliant. Well, it's great to speak to you, Jesse.
Thank you for your time.
So I was talking to Jesse from Misco. Here I am at Misco Expo. You're watching Hexus TV.